Is learning Japanese enjoyable for you? Even if you find it fun, don't you sometimes feel stuck or hit a wall? I personally experience this when learning a new language. There are times when I feel vaguely unsure about what I don't understand, preventing me from making progress. I also find that learning a language after finishing school is far more difficult than during my student days. For self-learners in particular, as you progress alone, you may lose track of what you have understood and what you still don't comprehend. Even when you feel you've grasped something from watching videos, haven't you experienced a lack of confidence about truly mastering the material? If you can't pinpoint your areas of confusion, it becomes challenging to seek guidance from others. Additionally, we often forget concepts we once understood. In such situations, this channel can prove helpful. So, how can you utilize this channel to enhance your Japanese learning efficiency? This video will guide you through that process. First, let me explain why I started this channel. Through personal and also, amidst the many opportunities I have in my job, to interact with people from different countries who are living in Japan, I've had the opportunities to engage with numerous Japanese learners. During these encounters, I noticed distinct patterns in their mistakes, which varied interestingly across countries of origin. Based on these patterns, I decided to create practice questions and repeatedly present similar problems. In fact, I have one individual to whom I've been keeping administering recurring Japanese quizzes. I realized that by making these quizzes available online, this person could conveniently practice during commutes or other spare moments. And at the same time, I imagine that many Japanese learners worldwide would also want to test their comprehension in this way. This was the motivation behind launching this channel. In fact, I have some foreign acquaintances and friends who have obtained the N3 and N2 levels of the Japanese Language Proficiency Test. However, even among N2 passers, it is not uncommon to frequently observe numerous mistakes in fundamental areas such as verb conjugations, numerals, particles, adjectives, and past tenses. The passing scores for these tests are relatively low, only 60% overall. Moreover, in each section, a mere 30% correct is the minimum requirement out of 100%. One can hardly claim such standards to be high. Furthermore, since a 30% score in the language knowledge section meets the requirements for that part, it's conceivable that some test takers could disregard their weaknesses in certain grammar areas and still pass. Additionally, most questions on the Japanese Language Proficiency Test are input-based questions. There are hardly any output questions. So, while they may have certified proficiency, it's regrettable if they've overlooked vital linguistic elements. Face-to-face conversations may seem flawless, giving the impression of exceptional Japanese ability. However, in written exchanges like text messages, those same individuals often struggle with particles, adjectives, past tenses, and linking forms. For those who need to write or express themselves in Japanese, focusing on these areas would be highly beneficial. By providing numerous practice examples, I hoped to raise awareness of common mistake patterns and help overcome habitual errors among such individuals. Okay, now, let's get to the main topic. I'll share some tips for making the most of this channel. First, the most orthodox method is to solve one question at a time while watching the videos. There is a 20-second time limit, but you can pause if you feel it fast, or look up words you don't understand as you go. If it feels too slow, you can adjust the speed. Start by trying to solve or listen to all 10 questions. Even if you can't do any, each video is around 8 to 15 minutes long, mostly around 9 minutes. Keep making an effort to solve problems and output every day. That's what this channel is for. You can also learn by playing these videos in the background while doing other tasks. There are various methods for this. Let's start with multiple choice questions. These are well suited for learning while doing another task. You need to identify the correct or incorrect options. First, all the options in Japanese will be read out. When identifying correct options, select the correct ones. When identifying incorrect options, select the incorrect ones. After 20 seconds including the reading time, the answer in Japanese will be read again. Multiple choice questions can make you aware of your mistake patterns, which is valuable. Once you identify your mistake patterns, you've achieved something. The tangled threads in your mind are starting to unravel. To review multiple choice questions, start by writing down all the options you got wrong when you have time. Then write down the correct options too. The best approach is to show what you wrote, the mistakes and correct answers, to your teacher. By making it visible, your teacher can easily see where you stumbled and explain it clearly. You can also show your Japanese friends your mistakes. Although not teachers, they may create more practice questions to help you. You can also refer to textbooks or review grammar explanation videos. Then, after some time, try the same questions again. Oh, and it's fine if you memorize the answers by listening repeatedly multiple times a day. By listening that much, you'll start to pick up a certain rhythm. Even if you don't immediately recognize the correct option, you'll develop an ability to sense when something is wrong, a feeling of dissonance. That accumulation becomes a skill. Acquiring this rhythm is very important. Small kids also subconsciously do this as they gradually learn language. For fill-in-the-blank questions with particles, the English will be read first. When using it as background music for tasks, try to create the Japanese sentence yourself from the English. After 20 seconds, the answer will be read twice. This repeats for 10 questions. If there are unknown words or many mistakes, review it on screen later. Then, after some time, try the same questions again the same way. Not understanding parts is good because researching and taking notes embeds memories in your brain, much more effectively than just seeing and listening. Try it. I also want to include questions about Japanese culture, customs, useful information for traveling to Japan, and daily life as much as possible. If you have any questions from the content, ask your teacher, Japanese friends, or language exchange partners. It's particularly effective for language exchanges. Use it as a conversation starter when you're stuck for topics, but ask in smaller chunks rather than all at once. The reasons behind things are explained in the shorts. For now, I aim to post around 2 new question videos and 1 short per week. I look forward to helping with your Japanese studies going forward. That's it for now. Thank you for listening.